Yeah, I understand that. You know what? I was very shy when I was in high school. In fact, the guy thought because of my popularity that I would be his campaign manager. I single-handedly made sure that he lost. Because I got up there, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do public speaking. You know, I know a lot of people that saw me in high school in Scottsdale can't believe that I ever ended up doing underwear ads, but that did happen.
Let me ask you about Earl Weaver. You injured your arm or something happened. There's a chapter in your book that your toughest opponent was Sherwin-Williams. So pick up the story because this would lead you to Earl Weaver.
Well, it does because in 1966 I played on a world championship team. In fact, we beat the Dodgers. And, you know, I was 20 years old, the youngest guy to ever pitch a shutout in the World Series. And I was making $7,000 a year. My wife was expecting our first daughter.
Was that the time that you beat Koufax in the last game you ever pitched?
Yeah, in fact, yeah, he was 32, retired. I think he fabulous, you know, had arthritis, wanted to play golf. So as it turned out, I bought a house and, you know, wanted to live in Baltimore. They had told us about if you're going to play in the community, try to come involved, get a house there. But when you're making $7,000 a year, you don't have a lot of money for furniture and whatever. So house was this ugly kind of off color, and I just started painting it. I couldn't afford a painter. And I would come home and I'd, you know, do it, and I got tendonitis, and I missed about 2.5 years. In fact, I was known for the next 2 years as the last guy to beat Sandy Koufax, and that gets real old. So the following year, I'm pitching. Yeah, I mean, you know, oh yeah, that was the guy that beat Koufax.
Yeah,
you know, why is he coaching first?
Yeah, and the key word is was.
Right, exactly. You know, you're a has-been. So the next year, I go to. They send me to A-ball, AA. I finally end up at AAA. Arm's killing me, and I'm pitching in Niagara Falls. They're having the racial riots of 1967. Weaver's the manager of the Rochester Ball Club, and there's this guy, Johnny Bench. I don't know who Johnny Bench is. Yeah. You know, he hits a little looping single. I said, who's that? He's a ping pong hitter. He'd been there a month. He'd hit 22 home runs. So the following day, I pitch, and somehow I strike him out the first time. We have a 6-0 lead, and I walk 2 or 3 guys with a 6-0 lead. Weaver goes nuts, runs out to the mound. He says, just throw the ball down the middle to this guy. Well, Johnny Bench is this guy. I don't know who he is. Yeah. I throw the first pitch down the middle. He hits it about 475 feet for a grand slam home run, something that I never did in 4,000 innings. And that's the last time I ever listened to Weaver. I mean, that's it, you know? Just throw it down the middle. I mean, why would you ever listen to that guy again? Earl Weaver, you know, he never got out of AA. We had a meeting in Milwaukee one night. You mentioned with Jeff, you know, seeing a game. And,
sure.
You know, County Stadium, old, you know, smells like bratwurst and beer and all that. We lost like 8 in a row, and Earl says, you guys don't want to win badly enough. He said, there's 2 things I never did in baseball. First of all, I never failed to get a guy in from third base with less than 2 outs. Get the sacrifice fly, hit the ball the opposite field. Some guy, I think Dave McNally, one of our pitchers, great pitcher, four-time 20-game winner, raises his hand and says, yeah, but you never got out of AA ball. You know, Weaver says, and another thing, I never made the last out of the game. I don't care how many runs you're down. He says, if you don't make the last out of the game, you don't lose. Now I'm thinking, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Roberto Clemente, Al Kaline. Yeah. One of those guys must have.
Of course.
So I raised my hand. He goes, what do you want? I go, we all know why you never made the last out of a game. He said, what? I said, they always used to pinch hit for you. Well, with that, he goes, you've ruined the mood of the meeting. You know, what mood, right? I mean, what mood are we talking about? But, you know, he won. I mean, you know, Earl we would come out of spring training, he would say, listen, we're going to get to the World Series this year. I picked the best 25 guys that I can pick. So we're in 2 months into the season. We're under 500. He calls the meeting. He says, you know, I made a mistake. And we were all up on the, I mean, we're going, geez, he's going to admit that he made a mistake. He said, I picked the wrong 25 guys. Oh, God, you know, what a way with words.
I know, but you have to love him.
Well, everybody loves him. And, you know, and he got in the Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted on August 4th. And it's wonderful. I mean, he's alive. Yeah. That helps. Baseball needs help. Yep. And here's a guy, you know, he used to grade the writers' stories. He was going to be on the cover of Time magazine.
Well, let me have you hold this. I got to do a fast commercial. Okay. We're talking here with Jim Palmer. The book is called Palmer and Weaver. Together, we're 11'9". We'll be right back after these messages. With Jim Palmer, here's Kathleen, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hi, Kate. Welcome to CBS.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Thank you very much.
How come you're up so late tonight, young lady?
Oh, I never sleep.
You're never, ever, ever, ever?
Well, in the morning, yes, but I'm up all night.
What do you do all night, kid?
What, you?
No, we leave in about 5 minutes.
I know.
Well, anyway, say hi to Jim. He's right here.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Fine. I was wondering, Did you ever seek out your biological parents? And if so, was it a positive experience?
No, I never did. You know, I was on the Sally Jesse Raphael show, and I had just had great parents. In fact, my dad, Max, is 88 today,
Wow.
down in Laguna Hills.
Happy birthday, Max.
Thank you, yeah. And my daughter got married a year ago.
Your dad is an actor.
Actor, yeah,
was an
character actor. And,
Wow.
But anyway, you know, I was on the Sally Jesse Raphael show, and I never really thought about my real parents. I never really knew the distinction between biological parents and real parents. And,
Yeah.
you know, the biological parents obviously are the people that, you know, where your genetic background comes from.
Right.
But my real parents were so good to me. I mean, you know, polite, talked about education.
Can you imagine what would have
values.
happened like if you were 3 or 4 years old and all of a sudden your biological parents sued your mom and dad that you're living with to rip you out of that home like they do now with kids? It's awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. But so I never really did that. And, you know, I couldn't have been luckier, couldn't have been more blessed. And I actually took Max, my name was Jim Wiesen when I grew up in New York, and I took Max Palmer's name at a Little League banquet in Beverly Hills. And you know what? So
I can't see Jim Wiesen of the Baltimore Orioles. Can you, Kennedy?
You know, in fact,
pitching, Jim Wiesen.
Palmer, you know,
Palmer's
the other
right.
Palmer, you know, Arnold. But I took his name, and the next day they had a father-son game. And, you know, I mean, my mother was in love with Max, and he said, you know, she said he really loves you and all that. And the next day, father-son game, and he hit a home run at Roxbury Park, and the ball went so far over the fences, and I was so proud. You know, I never knew he could hit.
Yeah.
I knew he could act. Saw him in Gangbusters, you know, Playhouse 57, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Never knew he could hit the long home run. In fact, kind of reminded me of this year, where every ball, you know, that's thrown seems to be going.
What's going on this year, by the way? They've juiced up the ball, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, I signed one for Jeff in there. The ball jumped right out of my hand, right back to him. The ball's harder. I mean, you know, you got small intimate parts.
Al Michaels, our friend, told me in that very seat, he says, you have to understand it's a combination of bad pitching and the moved in the fences and a boom, ba-da-bum, ba-da-boom, ba-da-bum. I said,
Al's a terrific broadcaster, but I don't believe I did, in 2 weeks, the longest nine-inning game in the history of baseball. 4 hours and 21 minutes. And then 2 weeks later, 13-10, and a guy hits a grand slam for the Orioles, Chris Hoyles. If the ball was a fly ball instead of a line drive, we break the record. And you know what? You look at the stands, and people are gone. I mean, 4 hours and 21 minutes to win a game or lose a game?
Yeah.
A little bit too long. I mean, I'm not biased or prejudiced or anything like that, being a former pitcher.
Anyway, Kathleen, thanks for calling and thanks for watching.
I just wanted to say that I'm so glad you had loving parents who brought you up. And
So am I. So am I.
I'm really glad that you were happy. And Tom, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Could I have a mug?
I don't have any mugs.
Do you have a picture?
I have a picture.
Could you autograph it for me?
Of course I could.
Oh, wonderful.
For $15. No,
Well, it's well worth it.
Hang on,
kidding.
card show.
It's well worth it.
I'm going to do card shows with Palmer, right? No, you leave your name and address, hon. I'll be happy to send you a picture.
Oh, Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Bye-bye.
Hey, and Kathleen?
Yes?
Send me an autographed picture, too, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Rhode Island, I don't think she's a Southern belle.
Listen, you were going here on Weaver. What have I got in time, Mark? I got a minute and a half. Weaver's negative-positive theory.
Oh, no, he would just kind of tell you, you know, everything possible. Like, okay, you go out there. Now, in my area, we didn't have, like, closers because Earl thought you were better than anybody in the bullpen. So you go out there with a one-run lead to pitch the ninth inning. You know, it's 95 degrees in Baltimore,
Right.
hot and
You're
humid.
dying,
You know, you're
right.
throwing about 140 pitches. But if you wanted to get a raise for next year, you know you had to pitch that ninth inning and win. So, you know, you've sat there for the bottom of the eighth, hoping you get more runs. You don't. You still have the one-run lead. And the last thing you want to do is walk anybody. As you're about the top of the dugout, he would go, can't get beat till you walk somebody. Well, now you're striding out to the mound, running out there, and the ball one, ball two. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he just would tell you all the negative things that could happen, but in a positive way, and then he would figure he's already told you everything bad could happen, so you would go out and do something good.
And we all remember the legendary conversations between he and, was it Ron Luciano?
Ron Luciano.
Legendary conversations at second base.
Well,
about a
but
call.
you have to understand, Luciano said, listen, I don't care who wins as long as it's not the Orioles. So Earl thought he was a little bit biased. And then from then on, every time he would ever umpire behind the plate, he would go up, protest the game, and have Luciano go back behind home plate and say, I am protesting the game because of the integrity of the umpire. So obviously Luciano didn't like him. But Earl was a winner, you know, and
Yep.
he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go up there on August 4th, and, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll be
He's
cheering.
alive, and he's
I'll be
alive.
cheering for him, too.
Hey,
Thanks for coming in,
My
Jim.
pleasure.
Okay,
Great to be
sir.
here.
Jim Palmer. The book is called Palmer and Weaver. Together, we were 11'9". Back with a program note about tomorrow night after these messages. Thanks again. Tomorrow night, member of the House of Lords Jeffrey Archer is here with his newest novel, and Bill Maher from Politically Incorrect on how to correctly prepare for a television program. Now, control yourself. Steve Mason on the Late Late Radio Show at 1-800-890-9990. I don't know. Back tomorrow night, same time, same station.